everybody. Welcome to Parageeks. Yeah, he didn't do his job. It's okay. So, nope, not even that one. Let's just go to the 4 box. There we go. Look at Mike. He's stuck. Mike, I was like, if you froze again, good God almighty. So, boys and girls, the controversy is a roaring. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Why we're gangster today.
That's why we're gangstering it, because we're gonna say stuff that's really going to piss people off, unfortunately. So, yeah. So if you haven't heard and you haven't watched social medias lately, which I can't believe you haven't, there's a new cat coming out with, was it Capturing Bigfoot?
Yeah.
And he is literally, he is just making it where no one's going to like him ever, because he's pissing in cornflakes of the Bigfoot believers who think that video is real. Now, with that being said, everybody here is going to get a chance to talk about their opinion on it real quick. And if you know, Anthony and I were on Maria's podcast with Russell Cord and RPG Ryan Golembeske. And let me tell you something. Going on there did not make me the world's best friend to the Bigfoot world, and we got a lot of hate for that and stuff like that. But I just kind of don't care. Here's my opinion on everything. I think there's something out there. I want to believe it's Bigfoot or Sasquatch or Boogerman or whatever you want to call it, but that PG film was fake. Period. And I'll just shut up there and let everybody else talk.
Mark, why don't you give us some background?
Well, this documentary is not available for proper public viewing yet, because it came out, they premiered it at South by Southwest Film Festival. And the story goes that this guy who was making it was given film canisters from the man who originally developed the Patterson-Gimlin film. And this was a roll of 60 millimeter film that was basically a dress rehearsal for the Patterson-Gimlin film from 6 months prior. Now, why it sat in a tin can for 60 years and why it was never brought up is never really mentioned. Right. But he did interview the Gimlin family. He interviewed the Patterson family, and the son of Roger Patterson said, "Oh yeah, Dad admitted he faked it." Now, Roger Patterson's son was 6 years old at the time that supposedly he saw his dad burning the costume and all that. So I don't know if I remember anything when I was 6. So it's a little interesting that he remembers that. So there are questions about this documentary. Of course, they interview Bob Hieronymus and some of the other key players who have claimed and debunked it over the years. And so it's pretty much, everybody says, oh, it's the nail in the coffin. And the people who have seen it, I've seen some people who 100%, these are the guys I would trust with major evidence and anything like that. And they have said that this is it. This shows that the Patterson-Gimlin film was faked. So until we see it, I still have questions. Again, I don't think the world begins and ends with Patterson-Gimlin. There were stories before it, and there are stories that go back to Native American lore and the First Nations. And then there's stuff to this day that a lot of people said it didn't look like Patty, the thing I saw. So I still think, some people are like, oh, it's the end of all paranormal investigations, the end of all, because it's all bogus. And it's like, we got a lot of other things to talk about. That's the basics.
Michael.
That's the basics.
I'm with Mark on a lot of this. I don't believe, even if it is a complete manufactured hoax, that it affects our investigations. I had questions about the original film and some of the stories, and have for a while, but you watch Bob Gimlin and he's so earnest. He seems like such a nice guy, but facts are not feelings. If I feel he's a nice guy, it doesn't change the fact that he may have been in a situation where they needed to make some money and he saw an easy route. I don't know. I want to know why they came out with all of this now. I mean, this film happened before I was even born. And why expose all of it now? What's the key factor? Are they wanting more money?
Yep.
You know, what's the driving force behind all this?
And he's got interviews
No,
with
and
Gimlin. He's got interviews with a bunch of these people, and Gimlin hasn't done interviews for a few years. He's up there, and he canceled all his convention appearances. So this had to have been filmed a few years ago, his parts at least, and they're playing it off like it was filmed last year.
So Anthony,
So-
let's hear
Well-
your side of this.
Yeah.
well, here's according to the producer director Mark. He's works in a documentary department at a university college, and someone else who works at the university. Her dad was the guy that developed the film for them back in the 60s. And he had that thing locked in a safe, that 16 millimeter developed film. He had a copy of it, his own copy of it, that he had locked in a safe for, almost 60 years. He died. She got the film. She didn't even know what it was. She looked at it. She didn't know how to watch it. When they looked at it, they thought, and Mark thought himself, the director, he thought, oh my God, we found an original copy of, the Patterson-Gimlin film. Because he could only see like one frame at a time. You're looking at film, that's all you're going to see. He thought they had an original copy of the PG film. Perfect condition, preserved for 60 years. He was nutso. And so he went ahead and then digitized the whole thing so it could be watched, without having to hook up a film projector, which you don't want to do anyway because it could break the film. But he went ahead and watched it, and they were like, oh, damn. This is not the Patterson-Gimlin film. This is entirely different footage that is a dry run, a rehearsal that was made before the PG film was done. And so that's where they get into it. Now, one of the things they do get into is the dating of the film itself. The person that Mark has been referring to has said that the film had square or triangle in the corner, or no, a square or circle in the corner. And that means that film was made in 1962 or 1963 is the date of manufacture, whether it's a square or a circle. And it was very common at the time to have film laying around for a couple of years. You'd go grab it out of the closet, put it in your camera. Film lasts a long time. Yep. But when it came time to film the actual footage, they got brand new film that was manufactured just a couple months prior to their expedition to go to film, Bigfoot, and just, out of coincidence happened to catch a Bigfoot that was doing exactly and posing exactly as, Bob had, or not Bob, but Patterson had described it, which is pretty long shot that you'd actually catch the same footage that you were describing or giving pictures of.
Yeah, they were trying to reenact the William
before.
Rowe. They were trying to reenact the William Rowe case, which was a important encounter from 1955 that some people say was the most detailed encounter ever. And I have my own issues with that. And that's a 20-minute diatribe.
Yeah, but to get almost exactly the same photo,
right,
as what was drawn, I actually ran the odds on that, and it's 1 in 2.5 quadrillion that you could get that shot.
Oh, don't. So I just want you to know, Maria just hates our numbers. She said, "There's no way that could be," and I'm like, if you do the math works. So
the math works.
I mean,
statistics don't lie.
A scientist should understand how to calculate odds. And boy, she did not like that. But so, as we were talking about in the pre-film, I went on the Bigfoot cruise. Unfortunately, Russell did not make it. I think something happened, and he was not able to make it. But they played his he did a documentary on Bob. And so, we've all gone and watched and read the account of what they said happened. Correct? It's a long read, whole 9 yards. So if you read that, I got the understanding. But when you hear Bob talk about what happened, all of a sudden, the red flags started going. I'm sitting in there watching this thing going, uh-oh, 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 right? So, and I'm gonna give you an abridged version. I think everybody needs to go watch this. It was very well done, by the way. Russell did a great job. I will never say that Russell did not do a great job, but I don't think he understood the fact that he was setting himself up for everybody to go, what the hell? Because according to Bob Gimlin, right, in Patterson, they were there, they went out there, they were going to try to shoot a documentary and go find this thing, right? Into an area that they had said that they had been before and had the experience. So the biggest parts there's two big ones that stands out to me the most. First thing first is they woke up that morning, Bob went out to run the horses, Gimlin went out to run his horses, and Bob got back, Gimlin got back about 30 to 40 minutes later, and then when Bob said, hey, Patterson, what'd you do? Oh, I was out there, just run the horses, blah, blah, blah. And then it's amazing, they go out, the horse spooks, both horse spook, and he's jumping off and grabbing his camera and shooting. Well, the problem with the camera, and I've done the research into the camera itself is a wind. So you have to wind this thing up. It can't be pre-wound, because if it sits too long pre-wound, it can actually weaken the springs. So that's number one. It's not a point and click. So you just can't jump off and hold it and shoot it to where it was at, right? Because it doesn't work that way. You have to be able to look at the little eyepiece and go, oh, that's it, right? So that's number two. Number three is after they filmed this thing and they got back to the camp, it started raining in the middle of the night. They didn't get casts that day. They went and they loaded their truck, they loaded the horses up in the truck, whole 9 yards. It started raining so bad that they had to leave. Well, when they left, it was such a bad downpour that they were having issues getting up the mountain roads, the logging roads that they came in on. So if it was raining that bad, which means the creek was risen, that means the water was flowing super fast. There are even if you went and covered it, because it was a dry creek bed, the torrent water would remove the cover and it would change the shape of the landscape, which means it would either fill in, wash away, or remove altogether any footprints that were left. And to say that they went back a couple of days later and found a footprint is bullshit. I'm just sorry. It can't happen that way. Now, if they would have cast those...
Yes, they both can't be true.
Right. So if they would have cast that day, absolutely. 100%.
No,
they got prints, but they did not.
If they would have, hold on, I'm going to stop you. If they would have cast that day, they still would have not gotten the prints, because it takes.
It didn't have time to dry.
12 to 18 hours for the plaster to dry.
Well, but so this film is starting to point out that there was a lot of monkey business going on here, and I say that jokingly.
Unintended.
Pun intended. Right. So now you've got the written account that we've all been reading for 60 years, 50 years.
Yep.
And then you have Bob, God bless him, that wants to tell the world his story, gets out there and literally contradicts the story. And now all of a sudden you got a son. According to, so there was a great, and we'll put the link in the bio. We'll put in the thing. Now this young man. Now you guys know this guy. I have no idea who he was, so I watched the whole thing. So now you got this guy coming out and saying, well, the reason he did it is because he wanted the truth to be out there. Yes, his mother a long time ago said, "I wish you were never born," and blah blah blah. So, there some
You're
hostility?
talking about Clint.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah,
There's some
Patterson.
right. There's some hostility going on, and blaming his mom, and so mom's living off of the money that was coming in. What I don't think
Yep.
she was making millions of dollars.
No, it's not a
don't think-
lot.
But if you're retired, you got your husband's pension, and pensions from back in those days wasn't shit. So, and she is probably the sweetest lady in the world. But this is the one thing that I do know, that is, when someone has been telling a story for decades,
Yep.
they're not going to go and confess in the end of their life, because A, they don't want to leave this earth going, well, he was a lying sack of shit the whole time, and look at the money grab that we got and all this stuff. So to me, it's, I think Clint could potentially be a little soured, probably. But with the footage that was found that supposedly is the rehearsal or the run through, that's kind of the nail. But again, we've not seen this. We want to see it. I want to see it. And it's just I know too much about the camera. And if one horse spooks, it doesn't mean the other horse will spook.
Yep.
So I've ridden horses in my life a lot, and I know that we can have one ornery horse.
It's
that
a coin
decides,
toss. It's a coin toss.
And so, but to make the other one spook is not hard. You just got to know what you're doing.
Nope.
They were both rodeo guys. They were both in the world of horses, so they understood that part. I just feel really bad for this Bigfoot community, and I know I've been talking a lot, but and I'll get to my point. I really feel bad that this community, our Bigfoot world, right? People can't just sit there and go, well, you know what? If that's what you believe, that's what you believe. Instead, this is the worst bullying or I know preteristic thing that I've ever seen on social media, unless the dress was blue or the dress was gold. I mean, whatever that thing was, right? So, I mean, people just look. If you don't believe it, don't believe it. You just keep believing.
There's two things that one was there's another Bigfoot guy, fairly famous from a show, who went out there and let's just say he's all about the money. But his personal attacks on the documentary maker.
Yeah.
And, calling out saying, oh, we all know about this suit. And so we've already looked at it. So none of this is new information. This guy's just a lying, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, the personal nature of it automatically set up for me the idea that this is somebody who's terrified that he's going to, lose his money train, or whatever it is that makes money.
Yeah, as we can all attest, there isn't a lot of money in Bigfoot. There's a lot of normal. You get the big guys. There's only one Zach Bagans, and and he knew what to do at the right time and made his money, and and that's fine. But that money is gone. You're going to conventions. You're not making a ton of money at a convention.
Nope, you're not.
Sorry, unless you're Tom Hiddleston signing because you were Loki in Avengers, you're not going to make a lot of money at a convention. As someone who does this for that's my second income. It's you make a few bucks here and there, and so you're not going to get rich on this. But speaking of that, can I go on my diatribe here for a minute?
Hit it, baby. All right. Take it away,
Absolutely.
Mark.
So the original thing that they based it on, that they were doing this documentary on, he was fascinated with this case. Bob Gimlin was fascinated with the William Rowe case. And that came from October 3rd, 1955. And it was actually in Mica Mountain, British Columbia. And so what the story is on this is basically in 1957, there was Harrison Hot Springs. This is this little town in British Columbia, and they wanted to boost their tourism for 1958 because that was their centennial coming up. And so their idea was to offer a $600 prize. I remember it was 1957, 1958, $600.
Big money.
A lot of money back then. That's about $6,000 today.
Right.
Almost 7,000. But anyway, they offered a prize for the best Sasquatch story because they were actually going to do a Sasquatch hunt, and they were going to have Swiss guide Renee Hinden, I think, was going to lead it. But anyway, following the announcement, a flood of Sasquatch stories flood into the newspaper, and they start surfacing all over the place. And probably Albert Ostman's story where he was kidnapped by a Sasquatch family in 1924 and he'd been held there for 6 days. He doesn't tell it till 1957. So he's waited 33 years to tell this story. And, who waits 3 decades to report that I lived with Bigfoot? Right? So, but then Rowe, right? William Rowe comes out and he claims he encountered a female Sasquatch and that he described watching it for several minutes. And he got all these crazy details with it, like broad, flat nose, small black eyes, the half-inch hair, the whinny sound, no neck, or it was conical, and all this. And so he hadn't talked about it for 2 years, 55 to 57. And then suddenly in August 57, he suddenly creates a sworn affidavit via the city of Edmonton's legal department. He had 3 lawyers draft this and notarize the statement saying it's absolutely true. And this is, right as that $600 Sasquatch contest, right? And that's just how it worked. It was so crazy that he remembered all these details 2 years later, and it just aligned perfectly with this publicity machine seeking cash for stories. So his statement, like I said, those, the sagittical crest, with the trapezius muscles, the chipped fingernails, the strange foot structure, its diet. He's talked about its diet and its sleeping habits. He saw it for a few minutes. How does he know this stuff?
Right.
And and so he, the story suddenly becomes famous, and then Bob Gimlin reads that story and he's obsessed with it. That's why he does that drawing of it.
Right.
And then suddenly he finds a female Bigfoot and all that. So this $600 prize, I think, was a payday. This guy invented the story. And I think it's totally, that was bogus. And so the inspiration for the Patterson-Gimlin film is a hoax. So I will 100% agree with that. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking with it. So
yeah. So, and that's what I think. That's what a lot of people are not seeing the bigger picture here. Yeah. No one's saying that we don't think Bigfoot's real.
Well, I'm just saying before that,
we just think the movie itself was a hoax.
Yeah, there's a ton of stuff. We've got the indigenous people stories, we've got native stories, we've got folklore all over the place.
He walked around with Moses.
There's stories of the Cherokee talking with him. Daniel Boone killed one. He killed a Yahoo. That's what he said.
Right.
And they asked him what he did with the body. He said, "We ate it."
Oh my! I'm not that brave. I'll eat anything. I don't think I'd eat a Bigfoot. I'm just saying.
It was a very tough turkey.
Yeah.
These are things that have been seen by many credible people, and I'm sure Mike can tell you the stuff that people have seen doesn't always resemble Patty. Sometimes it does. Some people say it does. I think they're influenced by the film, so they match the details up. But most of the hunters that I know and the stories that I get do not match up. And that's why they always feel weird saying that they saw Bigfoot, because it didn't match that film. And
the stories I have and the things that I've seen, the facial structure is more man-like than ape-like.
Exactly.
And Patty was full ape.
I just to jump, slightly sideways to make an example. I wrote an article, peer-reviewed, published, made it through the entire publication process. And when it was out there, one of my reviewers or not one of my reviewers, just somebody out on the internet said, hey, you say this in, like page 7 or something like that, where you make this claim about this place being known as, the place of the first time in ancient Egypt. And do you have any source material on that? Because I'm not aware of that being a published theory or anything. And I had an oh crap moment, because what it was like a footnote in my own head that I'd accidentally put into the paper. And it made so much sense that the peer-reviewed people just passed it through
Yeah.
and figured, well, everything else is right, so this must be right too. But I had people saying, because that was wrong, your whole theory must be wrong.
Yeah.
Well, this is where you have to understand the difference between primary evidence and supporting evidence. Primary evidence is what makes you launch into the research in the first place, okay? Because you have evidence that something has happened. You have an eyewitness account. You have a torn up camp. You have, the stories that we all have. That's primary evidence from 100 years ago that made us look into this thing. Secondary evidence is, oh, I found a footprint, so I made a cast. The fact that one footprint has been faked does not mean there is no Bigfoot, Sasquatch, hominid out there, okay, coexisting with us. That's just not logical or scientific at all. These are supporting pieces. And the Patterson-Gimlin film, whether it was real or not, is irrelevant, because it was only supporting evidence. That's all it ever was and ever could be. And so losing your shit over it because, oh my God, this means that everything must be fake. That's ridiculous. You cannot draw that conclusion.
Exactly.
Because what a great way to poison the well.
Yeah.
Go out and do one fake thing, or maybe find a glove that doesn't fit OJ's hand.
Yeah.
And so he gets acquitted, even though everybody and their brother knows that he did it.
Yeah.
Okay, you can't. They basically framed a guilty man, which is what we said about OJ. But here we're talking about they're creating fake evidence for something that was real, and that doesn't make it less real.
Okay, so
Potentially.
in the long run, what do you think this once everybody gets to see it? What do you think this documentary is going to do to this? I mean, the Bigfoot community is a big community. Nobody gets rich off of it other than the TV people who charge a shitload of money for us to go get talked to and take a picture of, and they're the ones making the money. Us smaller guys, we're not making any money at it. I'm just saying. I mean, it's I've now have done. I probably have got. We probably got what, Mark and Anthony. We probably got what, 8, 9 shows for just the Bigfoot itself, and that's it. There's not a lot of money there, other than, again, unless you're TV and you're charging an exorbitant amount of money to be there, But in the long run, I think this is gonna wreck this world for a short time.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna have some waves and repercussions. I mean,
Right.
this is like I said, Jason Hawes, Ghost Hunters, Taps. He had to do a video the other day because people are saying, does this mean the paranormal isn't real? And he's like, well, I can prove to you I can probably prove to you better that the paranormal is real than the paranormal is not real, because everything's different. I still like to call it preternatural, because para means beyond normal. There's lots of stuff that's beyond normal. And that's stuff we still learn. I mean, we don't know if dark matter exists, but NASA thinks it does, and scientists think it does. We still don't have it. We haven't proved it. It's just mathematically it makes sense. And a lot of these things happen. Like, they didn't understand gravity back in the day. They didn't understand magnetism back in the day. Yet they didn't understand radiation or bacteria. And then we figured it out. We found things to detect it. And that's what I think is going to happen with this. We're going to find things to detect ghosts. We're going to find things that can detect if there is things out in the woods that we're not supposed to see. Like, look at LiDAR. I remember when they found Lost City of the Monkey God, which actually turned out to be the Panther God. They found that using LiDAR, which was brand new at the time. And now we use LiDAR to check to see if there was a sinkhole, or a pothole or a septic tank.
I have LiDAR on my phone.
Exactly. And it was back, just 20 years ago, it was thousands of dollars. You had to have a helicopter and you had to have special permission to use it and all that. And now it's everywhere. And I do think we are going to find more and more. That's the idea. And I do think that's going to open up more and more for people who are going to say things. I mean, look at what happened with the UAP footage back when that first started leaking.
Right.
I started getting way more stories from people who said, I saw that as a child and they told me it was a helicopter. I saw that, in the 50s. I saw that in the 70s. And now we're, Black Triangle. Okay, great. We'll have our special guest in a moment. So
he ain't no special. He may be special, but he ain't that special.
Oh, man. It's
we're sorry for the delay. His little bus was late.
Yeah. He was driving today. Big talk from a guy in California. Dude, there's no tough guys in California anymore.
He still hasn't got
we've
the
now
helmet
proven
on.
there are no Bigfoot there either.
There he is.
Oh,
no.
It's what's his name?
Sorry, I'm in a hotel room. I do not have my normal lighting. I'm experimenting. Is that better?
That looks great.
Yeah, you got a pillowcase. Just put it on. We're good.
It's like turn on the Instagram with the cat nose, and you're perfect.
We'll make
my daughters.
We'll make RPG the. Remember? Do you guys remember the Gong Show?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Unknown comic.
Yeah. There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Unknown commentator.
Welcome. Guys, I am so sorry I am late. I unfortunately had to do another episode of History's Greatest Mysteries with Lawrence Fishburne. I want you to know. I want you to know. And this is a humble brag, but I'm on that high of just doing a show. I represented us Parageeks very well. They usually do a show in 2 to 3 hours, closer to 3, and I knocked it out in 1.5. Why? Because I didn't want to miss you fools. Obviously, I'm crazy. Obviously, I'm crazy.
I don't know. I was kind of ticked that you chose this Lawrence Fishburne guy over us. I mean, what has he ever done?
Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah.
Red Pill.
Just because he's in Marvel. And a couple other things. Jeez.
Yeah, a few little things. So we've hit a lot of topics, and right now we're talking about what the effect of this documentary coming out is, because it's like I said, I think it's going to affect the Bigfoot community for the next. I will give it 9 months, and then I think it'll probably disappear unless it gets peer reviewed by all the really big boys, and everybody's like, oh, this guy's full of crap, or oh, this guy's really, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. If somebody can find out that it's been faked, that it's AI footage or whatever, then we're going to have a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
But what are you seeing right now, RPG, in your neck of the woods? What kind of responses are you getting, hearing, seeing, saying? What do you got?
Uh-oh.
What you don't have is audio.
We can't hear you. All right.
Okay.
We've had this 3 people. We've had this 3 times.
I am now going to do ventriloquism for what he meant to be saying. He said, everyone is being incredibly loving and wonderful. There is no controversy.
Yeah. But so while we're waiting for the technical issues to get fixed, the whole thing, I look forward to going to a couple of because I know we've got there's a big Bigfoot conference in Townsend, right, coming up in May, and then I think, is it July?
Smoky Mountains is June. Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Conference is June.
It's June, and then we have one
festival is in May. Yeah. Right,
and then then Ocala is what, July?
I think so. Yeah, Ocala's July, Florida, Great Florida Bigfoot.
So I'm interested. We need to do some man on the street interviews. Going, okay, what did you see and here's the thing.
By
It's just,
then it'll be distributed, I'm sure.
Well, I
The
hope
main
so.
reason it's not coming out tomorrow, they're actually doing a bidding war against it now. It was really just going to be released on Tubi and Plex.
Yeah.
And
Plex,
now it's going to be, they're going to shop it around because it got in Variety.
It's caught way too big.
It got in Variety. It got in Hollywood Trades. Now somebody's like, I'll give you 100,000. I'm sure it's up to 500 now. And that's what this guy wanted. Yeah. This guy knows how to market. He knows how to market.
Yep. With that being said, so it's like going back to voting. If you didn't vote, you can't say anything. You can't complain about anything. You can't say, I hate this president or I hate this senator, because you didn't vote. So if you don't go and watch this, you really shouldn't be saying anything about it. Yeah. All these people that are exploding online have not seen it.
I've not seen it. Yeah.
No,
they're getting everything secondhand.
Yeah.
And some of them are accepting it as gospel, and others are dismissing it as, the text of Satan. So, this is crazy. You haven't seen it. You don't know. You gotta test it.
Right. And so I just don't, I don't know. I think everybody needs to step back, chill, go see it, and then rail. If you want to rail, then rail. If you got an opinion, you got an opinion. Yeah. The only thing that seems weird to me is the people that have talked about it is, like I didn't know who this one guy was. That you guys all know him, so I didn't know him. So my question is was he allowed?
Man.
Yeah, was he allowed? Was he okay to go out and immediately start saying something about it, or is he kind of doing it on his own fruition? It's
which guy are you talking about?
The Harry Man, is that what it is? Harry Man?
Harry Man.
Harry Man Road.
Yeah. He's been a researcher for years, and he is a big numbers guy like Anthony. He is a very skeptical guy, and again, he's had an experience, so that's what's turned him onto this. And so, he is a believer, and he is also a knower, as he likes to say, and he knows it's real.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. He's always had issues with Patterson-Gimlin.
Right.
So he did a very good on-the-spot review because he went fresh right after it and said,
yeah, he came right out of his hotel room or right out of the auditorium. It was there a couple hours because everybody was just going nuts talking about it. He went up to his room and at 12:30 at night made a video review of what was in it. Not all of his facts are straight, okay, because some of the stuff that he referenced, is not possible, but it's minor. Again, it's just little supporting details. It's not that important.
It was a fresh reaction. I'm like, I can't review a movie that I just saw. So half the time my brain's like, oh yeah, then this happened. Oh wait, no, that was before this. No, that was after this, and that sort of thing.
Exactly.
But you can see he's shaken by it.
This dude he's like, you can tell he is just doesn't know what to think.
They killed that. Yeah. That's exactly what it is. They told him Santa isn't real, and and that shakes him to his core. It's this is the flat earth.
And then they showed the video footage of Dad putting the presents under the tree.
Yeah, it was in the flat earther test to prove that the Earth wasn't round, and then wound up proving it was round. It broke them, man. It broke them.
It did, and I think it's gonna, again, it's literally gonna put people back on their heels. It really will.
It's going to put half the people on their heels.
Hold on. You ready for this? Hold on.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, just put them on like that.
Yes, Ryan.
Just hold him up to the camera.
Let him in, Cage. Let him in. But we can't hear you, baby. I don't know.
Put his phone.
Cage has been randomly muting people, just so you're aware.
Go into the chat. Cage is waiting for you.
I would say just hold the phone up to the microphone.
Yeah, right. That's it.
And
Yeah.
have him talk. Yeah.
Sometimes people
Yeah.
just use their phones because their phones are actually better than their freaking computers that they've got.
Yeah,
So
sometimes it is.
yeah.
Sometimes it is. But
So
yeah, we did that on Nerd Talk a couple times.
yes, we did. Yes, we did. So
That's where I'm
and-
on right now.
Yeah, he's using his phone. Look how beautiful it is. Holy shit. So, not that I want everybody to do that, but it's okay to do that every now and then.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
But yeah,
built my set around
he
the
has.
phone.
He
So
has. He's
yeah,
done
I
a
got
great
my
job.
I got my flip phone. I'll do that. We'll be
Oh, no,
good.
you won't. Okay, see, now there's the whole thing is that, it's like Bigfoot. Flip phones don't exist anymore. No, I'm just kidding. They do.
No, but that was, and I always, people do say though, now, why hasn't there been more footage?
Right.
Like, because everybody has a phone now. Everybody has a camera now. Everybody has this and that.
Right.
And as experience over there, Mike, and as person who documents all these encounters, my cryptid encounter lasted about 38 seconds.
Right.
It was before phones and everything, but I don't know what I saw, but I saw something that doesn't make sense.
Right.
And that's what people see. Now, it takes you a few seconds for your brain to go, what the hell is that?
Right.
It could be, oh, is that a guy in a ghillie suit? Is that a snake coming out of the water
Right.
when you're in a Nessie or something? And so it takes a few seconds. Then you think, oh gosh, I got to get a picture of this.
Right.
Your pocket, grab your phone. All right. And then, all right, got to put my finger on it or hold it to my face. All right. Password. All right. Camera app, go. That's how many minutes has that been?
Right.
Yeah. And the thing
And
is
the
gone.
entire time, your eyes are still focused on what you're seeing out there.
Yeah.
And the emotionalism that you're going through. When I had my encounter, if I'd have had a camera in my hands, I wouldn't have used it.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't think about it and anything. And some of these guys are with their scope because they're watching a deer or something, and then suddenly, what's that? And
Right.
they get the details, and every one of them that did that says it looked human. In the
So
face.
to me, if
So I couldn't shoot it. I was
if-
afraid I was going to kill something important.
if you're out in the woods and you're doing this, just as a tech tip, you need to have a body cam that's looking where you're looking. Now, I'm not saying get the head ones. You can get one that mounts on the shoulder or whatever.
Yeah, I got a couple nice little ones, clip on,
Right.
boom, 4K cameras.
How many?
Okay, I've got a couple of them here.
People who get these they're not expecting to see Bigfoot.
Nope.
This has changed their life. They didn't expect to do that. And that's
Nope.
why they don't
No.
have cameras like
Yeah.
that. They don't have body cams and all that. They're out there to hunt deer. And the less electronics, the
we
better.
live
Yeah.
We live with 3 dogs, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Okay, 2 of them are just unbelievably cute, and they'll take a nap and they'll be curled up together, whatever it is. And I swear to God, they know when you take your phone out.
Yeah.
Because we will try day after day, week after week, month after month to get that picture of them doing that thing. As soon as that camera comes out, boom, they're up and out and gone.
Yeah.
And it's like, we can't get the picture that happens all the time. So how are you supposed to get it? Okay, when you're flustered, when you're flummoxed, when you're standing there going, you just don't even know what you're seeing. And then by the time you realize, oh my God, this is important situation. No, you're not going to get the pic because it's already over.
Yeah.
And
Just like the
science
dog
is
who
weird.
won't stay still.
Like I said, they can tell when the camera's coming out. They can feel that. They can sense that.
Yes.
How many of you have ever, wherever you keep your phone, and then suddenly you put your phone on the table, but then you get a text on your phone, but you feel it like in your hip,
Yeah.
where you usually keep your phone.
Yep.
And that's because your
Yeah.
body is sensing that's coming through the air. And it's just so used to feeling that it's reminding you that it's going to happen. And then, suddenly it's on your phone. Again, it's just a weird science thing that we don't 100% understand, except that we've attuned to it and all that. If that's going around like that, these things, if they're highly sensitive, like we think they are, like some higher, instinct animals, they're going to feel that too.
Right.
And they're going to run from that, and they're going to avoid that. And so I think that's part of it as well.
If this is an important factor, then I will say that the iPhone 17 now has a single button on one side to open the camera.
Yeah, the only phone
it's
that
the
did
only
was
thing that
Windows
button
phone
does.
before that.
What's that?
The Windows Phone had that like 20 years ago, but nobody wanted it.
Right. Well, now the iPhone 17 has it. There's a button down the side. You click on that, automatically opens your camera. But you still then have to hit record, take a picture, whatever. You got to flip to video. Okay, there's still so many things you have to do, but still having one button may speed up the ability to get a pic like this.
You can
but you
can
gotta
actually
be expecting it.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, that's the whole point. You're walking through. I think Michael thinks I'm a moron because I don't go out with a walking stick. I just don't. I don't. It to me, it just gets in the way. But we're not walking through the woods with a camera in our hands. It's either packed in a pack, or it's in your back pocket, or it's in a side pocket, or it's in a zipper pocket. And just to get to it sometimes is like, Now, the one thing I did do on my phone when I do bring it out is I do the triple tap. And I went in and wrote my own shortcut that when I triple tap, it starts the recording. Nice. So it's not only does it launch the camera, but it'll start the recording for me. And then I just point whatever. But even then, that's still 5-6 seconds. That's not.
And again,
now,
who the hell the average person going to do that? No.
I'm just a nerd.
Now, by the way, John.
Yeah.
I have a walking stick. Okay, it's Chinese whitewood, which is actually a reed. It's unbreakable. But on the top of it, I put a 1/4-inch screw mount.
Oh,
so
that's a great
monopod.
idea. I just don't like sticks in my hand when I'm walking through the woods.
And the thing is, you can mount like a GoPro on the top of your walking stick.
Yeah, I know.
And then, boom, you have a monopod. So you're going to get the best shot ever because it's completely stabilized.
All right,
so,
maybe
just a thought.
Maybe we'll see.
I'll make one for you to see if you like it.
Awesome little stick cams that are super tiny and all that, and they do focus and they do zoom, and they're all in little gimbals that they can control with their thumb. Those are great. They usually always have those out because they're walking through the woods, they're walking whatever to do their vlogs. So I'm still surprised none of them have stumbled on something.
Right.
But that's the only thing. But we had, like I said, we took them to a haunted house, and we had a haunted house incident where a door flew open behind me. And
that was amazing. That was
why don't we just all strap a 360 camera on top of our head?
But that was just it. They are used to filming constantly. And even then, of the 4 people there, only 3 got it. Yeah. Because one of them was filming the wrong direction. So it's that's how this stuff happens. You don't know. And it's insane to me how some of these things just people, these arguments that people give that, oh well, it should be this, it should be that. Look at the freaking asteroid that hit Ohio yesterday, and every 11 states saw it. One security camera at a fire station got it on camera.
Yep.
That's it.
So let's get back to the documentary. So
sorry.
My question is so why? I understand that. Oh my God, my main camera. I may get cut off because my main camera is not working or getting ready to die on me.
Well, that's okay.
So
you can stay on it like audio
god.
God.
It's a ghost draining the batteries.
Yeah, that it's always Bigfoot.
Bigfoot draining batteries.
So why don't I understand you got to make money. Trust me, you got to make money. I get it. But this right here is one of those things that I just they need to get it out there. Need to get it out there now. So the infighting can stop, or it's just going to be a civil war. You either believe the PG film is real, or
that's going to happen regardless as soon as it comes out, because people are going to tear it up, tear it down.
It's been happening for decades.
I want to point out. Well, one of the things that I have been looking at here, and that is that the director pointed out that yes, they cut this down to like a 35-minute like documentary episode size, but they actually, when they did their first cut and they got it put together and they thought it was good and solid, it was almost 3 hours long. And it was still good and still holding together. So we may be in a situation here where they end up not just negotiating for the release of this 35-minute documentary. But if they get the right deal, they could get a multi-million deal to turn this into a feature film and let this thing fester for months while they revert it back to its, to an hour and a half or 2-hour format. And I think that, and then go for a theatrical release,
Well, they could do
because
a
I think
Netflix
that would
three-part
be,
series.
they could do that too.
Right.
Yeah,
But
they could do
I
a
think
Netflix three-part
that's
series.
another, and release it that way. But I think the theatrical release and getting tickets sold at $30 a head, and getting a studio behind this thing, we think this is just something that, Netflix or HBO will offer them, $500,000 and they'll jump on it. They may have actual studios out there saying, hold on a second, Hoss, because they were at South by Southwest, and that's where the studios are hiding, looking for this stuff. And it's not that they may have gone hunting, they may have been approached.
Okay, but okay, so now let's come from a streaming guy's side, right?
Yeah.
Why give this money away when you can park this behind a paywall
Mm-hmm.
and make all the money you want and none of it has to go to them?
Yeah.
I mean, because if it's really that good and it can really make that type of money, a paywall all damn day long will make you way more money than letting Netflix buy it, letting Amazon buy it, letting Gaia buy it, or Paramount, or one of those things. Because
or YouTube link, watches and get your million hours, get the money per click. That happens too. It's there's a lot of ways to go with this, and I do
bird in the
think,
hand, and how much are they being offered?
yeah.
well, yeah, but I mean, if Netflix is offering you $500,000, they know they're going to make $5 million.
Yeah, 100%.
That's just the way
they
that
are.
is.
Okay,
It is.
but without it, you've got to sit there and hope, if you're selling it at, $10 a view, okay, because if you raise the price too high, you are going to get bootlegged so fast it's going to be pathetic.
But
Okay.
But no,
Yeah.
you won't get bootlegged. If you know how to put
yeah,
that
you will.
security back, absolutely. Yeah. Dude, I
John,
can
I will
bootleg it
put a
off of
camera
Netflix.
up in front of the
Yeah.
screen.
I can do the same thing with Netflix. I can do the same thing with Plex. I can do the
that's
same
the
thing.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
the point.
what I'm saying
but if
is,
people don't have to pay for it because they
Yeah.
already have Netflix, they aren't going to bother bootlegging it in such
what about the
quantities.
people
But
who
if-
do not have Netflix? What about the people who do not have Amazon? What about the people
Sure.
who do not have Disney Plus? By putting it on your website and paywalling it, now it's 100% access to anybody that wants to go watch it.
Yeah. And anybody can, that's the whole point. You put it on Netflix and everybody wants to watch it, they're all going to subscribe to Netflix for at least a couple months.
Right.
That's the key. And
That's why
does.
Netflix, they'll make $5
Yeah.
million off of it.
Look at
giving
Tiger
you-
King.
Right. But,
Right.
but
Yeah, look at
they
Tiger
will never make $5 million off it no matter what they do. They'll be lucky if they get 100,000 off of it. Okay. And because then they have to do all the marketing themselves, all the advertising, all the back end work, all the streaming.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but look
Okay,
at
John,
the.
you know what goes into that.
I know, but look at the free marketing they have right now.
Oh no, they're gold right
This
now, which
is-
is why it's not
If-
premiering suddenly like it originally was going to.
So, but here's
why it's not up for free.
here's the biggest question that we should all be asking ourselves. Great, I'm going to watch this as soon as it comes out. I don't care what
Okay.
platform, I'll go on that platform.
Yeah.
My
Yeah,
question
I don't
is,
care, I'm gonna buy
are
it.
we ever going to get to see the pure, real footage that was found?
No, and that's exactly what this is all about. It is.
What do you
I mean?
mean?
We're never going to see
What
and
pure real?
this new reel. Are we going to see the original reel?
Right.
No,
The new
he
16
digitized
millimeter. Are we going to see?
Digitized it,
How do you
so.
see the original? It's got to be digitized.
You'd
Well,
have to
yeah.
show it
You'd have
on
to go to a
projector.
theater and watch it with
Yeah.
a 16 millimeter projector.
Well,
Yeah, and
no,
that's-
you take the original film and you digitize that. Yes, we're seeing a
Yes.
digitized version, but not not color corrected,
Nope.
not fixed, not changed. No, I want from
Edited,
the beginning
nothing.
of that
I'll bet
reel
we will.
to the end of
not
that
edited.
reel.
Not
Yes,
edited.
not
Yeah.
edited.
Yeah.
So that's how many
And the
people
thing
have seen
is-
the Patterson film unedited. Everybody sees that section that they show all the time.
Well,
because that
Right.
was
Now,
according-
now I have seen that whole, like 3-minute version. Okay.
And
That
I've
is
seen all the
supposedly,
B-roll
but
because he was mostly
back
filming
in
B-roll.
the day, that is how you shot with those cameras.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You only shot 10, 20, 30 seconds at
Burst.
a time.
Well, you got to rewind it.
Yeah, you
Then you had to rewind.
and and then it'd start to wind down. You go back, wind it back up again, take another burst, and so you'd only end up with 2 minutes of your family picnic that lasted 12 hours.
Yeah, if that.
Okay,
Right.
but that's all you got was 2 minutes of video out of it.
Mhm.
And so that's what you're going to have with this thing. I don't think that the footage he got is more than a minute long.
And to be fair,
I think that's all it is.
all the details and everything that are on the costume or the suit. Some makeup artists and stuff have pointed out the obvious flaws and stuff like that they say, and then other people say, "Oh no, those are metatarsals and
That's
things
a
like
sign
that,
of it. Yeah.
and all that." And that was when it was upcade, up to 4K. When it got redigitized and re-upped, that's when people started noticing this stuff.
Well,
That was not ever going to be a thing when you film it on 16 millimeter. They didn't think about that.
well,
Why did they put
here's
details in the costume?
Here's the great thing about that old film, and I know we're running out of time, and I know we're going to talk about this next week, but I'll even argue about the Bill Munns thing, right?
Yeah.
The one thing about filming on 16 millimeter or 8 millimeter or 32 millimeter or whatever millimeter back then it was available, I know there's two others I'm missing. That was already, and I know people are this will make people lose their fucking shit. That film was considered in today's world high def.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, saying, oh, we got upres to 4K. No, it was already at 4K.
Yeah, no, I agree.
All that stuff has to be digitized and brought down to TV safe so you can run it on a 720 by 480 television screens or 640 by 360, whatever there was on math.
Yeah.
So, so I love it when they say, oh, well, we had all this old stuff and we had to go get it. We had to get colorized and digitized. No, actually you didn't, because it was already shot on high def and high res anyway. So that's what I'm saying. I really want to see, and I know we're over time, but it's okay. It's our show. We can do what we want. I already know by looking at that older stuff, it's going to be amazing. Everybody thinks that when you see it, it's going to be all grainy and all. It's not. It's going to be beautiful, and that's what I want to see.
This isn't the 8 millimeter Zapruder film. This is 16 millimeter.
No.
Professional.
But
rented.
there was 8. There was Super 8 was one of the other ones you were missing.
Super 8, yeah.
Super 8.
So anyway, hopefully we'll get to have good old RPG in with us next week. And actually, guys, I will be coming to you from Florida. Cage will be the one doing all the magic back here and then, because we're leaving this weekend to go down for next week. So I'll be doing a lot of stuff on the road next week. Thanks for watching, everybody. We do appreciate it. We had RPG in for like 5 seconds and then we lost him, but hopefully he'll be here next week.
He tried.
Mike, great job. Anthony, good job. Mark, good job. RPG, short, good job. We love all you guys, and we will see everybody next week on the Parageeks.
His wife said the same thing. All right, bye, everybody.